Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how to put together these yellow Angry Birds, so stay tuned and I will show you how. Here are the things that I used: a yellow bird cookie cutter that I found on Etsy.com. I used brown, golden yellow, lemon yellow, and black food coloring, and some white roll icing. Alright guys, let's get started. Alright guys, so the first thing we're going to do is draw this here on the cookie. That way it can give you some guidelines to where you're going to pipe in the eyebrows. We are going to do the eyebrows first because we need them to dry, and then we're going to outline and have that dry as well before we go in with the white and the yellow. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to look for my center and come down here and just put a dot there. And here are the outsides of the eyebrows. They kind of stick out. So I'm going to start from there and kind of bring it really close to that one center point. Just like that, because they have like squarish or rectangular looking eyebrows. And here I'm going to start here really close and bring it out. I'm going to be using brown for the eyebrows here. Some of the pictures here, I did an orange one. Some of the pictures that I searched up have like an orangey tint to it. Some of them have a brown tint to it. So I don't know, whatever you would like to use, go ahead and use that color for your eyebrows. I'm going to be using brown only because I'm going to be using like an orangey color for the beak, so I don't want it to be too matchy-matchy. So that's why I'm going to go with the brown. Now here, I'm going to go with my black, and I'm going to do the eyes, and they usually come really close to the end of that, and they're very roundish. And then I'm going to do the beak, and his beak, since he's facing forward compared to the red bird that's facing towards the right or to the side, his face is going to be forward, so his beak is going to be very small, almost like a little diamond shape. So it's going to go up, down, and then around the bottom, and then it's going to go up, down, up, down, and there you go. And then so his eyeballs will be right here. All right, so I have here some brown in a tip number 2, and I'm going to ice the eyebrows. And I want to do this first because it needs to completely dry so it won't get absorbed by the lighter color. Alright guys, so I gave this about an hour and a half, so it has gotten a bit of a crust there. So I'm going to move on with my black, and I'm going to outline the eyes, the beak, and the outside of the bird. And then the whole entire bird. I'm going to leave the hair for last. Well, next step. And so now I'm going to do the hair part. Alright guys, so I have here a tip number 1 and a little bit more of a runnier consistency in black for the hair. Now I do suggest doing this after you do the eyebrows. That way you can give both of them some time to dry. I forgot to do that, so now I'm gonna have to give this extra time, when if I would have done it with this, they would have dried at the same amount of time. So now it's just going to prolong my wait, because I'm gonna have to wait for this to dry when it could have been dry at the same time as my eyebrows. But I'll have to do what I have to do now and then just wait. So just make sure you spread this out evenly and pull the ends to give it a little bit of that spike there so it won't dry rounded. Alrighty, so I have all these done. So now I'm gonna have to now give this about an hour and a half to 2 That way when I put in my yellow, it doesn't want to absorb that black. Alright guys, so this has had time to crust, so now I'm going to fill in the white and a little bit of orange here. And here with my edible marker, I'm going to draw a line coming down, a little bit curved here. And that's going to be the white because he has a little white bottom part to his belly. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my white and I'm going to have some black as well with a tip number 1 to fill in the pupil. So I'm going to fill in the white here, spread that out, and before I forget, I'm going to put that pupil in there. Okay, so with your black, tip number 1, right in the center, let that sink in. And I'll do that to the other eye as well. Okay, so now with the black, and put that center pupil in there. Okay, so now with my orange, now you can do this with a lighter color. I think his beak is more like just a darker yellow, darker than his body, but I had done this for my red bird and I already had the icing, so I didn't want to make some more, so I'm just going to use this one. And that was a tip number 1, and this is, I believe, golden yellow, which is more like an orangey for some reason. Okay, so I have here in a tip 2 the white, and I'm just going to fill this bottom part here. Since everything, the black part is already dry, I don't have a worry about that this is going to absorb any of those black lines. Okay, so I'm going to give this some time to crust. I'm going to give it about an hour, hour and a half. That way when I add my yellow, it doesn't absorb into this white. Alright, so now I'm going to move on with this one that's already dried. I have here a tip number 4, but you can use a tip number 3. I just happen to grab this one. It will help me fill up this bird a lot quicker. Have this yellow in a somewhat thin consistency because I need this to spread out quickly. Okay, so just finish it up. I do recommend using like a tip 3. I think this tip 4 just gave me a lot of icing, a little too much, especially since the icing is a bit thin. It just gave me so much icing per squeeze, and it's running over my black. Okay, so I'm gonna let this dry. Alright guys, very quickly I just want to let you know, if you do make these, just keep an eye on the hair part here. Since it's a smaller area, it'll cook a lot quicker, so it'll brown a lot faster. All of mine browned a lot quicker at the top. Since this area here is a lot larger, it would take a little bit longer to cook. So just keep an eye on them, that way this doesn't completely burn on you. So that's all I wanted to let you know. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thumbs it up if you did. Subscribe if you haven't done so. Stay tuned for more, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and have a good one.